Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. We're diving right into a topic today that is going to completely reframe how you think about discounts. If you're a business owner, a founder, or a marketer, you've probably had some sleepless nights wrestling with whether to run a sale or hand out promo codes. It feels risky, doesn't it? But over the next few minutes, we're going to see how the most successful brands in the world use coupon marketing business models not as a sign of weakness, but as a precision engine for growth. Let's get right into it. Because, let's be real, this is the big fear. Are coupons just killing your margins? It validates a very real, very terrifying scenario for a lot of businesses. When we picture coupons, we usually imagine these desperate margin-crushing tactics, slashing prices just to get a brief spike in sales, only to look at the books and realize you've made absolutely zero profit. It feels like a race to the bottom, and honestly, if you do it wrong, it absolutely is. But what if that fear is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of what a coupon actually does? You see, a lot of us fall into what we can call the loser mentality, the 50% off trap. This is just panic discounting. When you fall into this trap, you're literally training your customers to just sit back and wait for the next big sale, which completely destroys your long-term brand value. Instead, we really need to shift to the winner mentality, which is all about structured loss leaders. This is where a coupon transforms into a strategic, highly profitable customer acquisition engine. You are deliberately trading a short-term discount for a long-term, highly valuable relationship. To really visualize this, let's talk about the bottom bun strategy from the Weibo hamburger marketing framework. So think of your coupon as that bottom bun. It's the absolute foundation. Its entire job is to act as an entry point designed to break down friction, grab consumer attention, and basically get your product tried by a totally new audience. Without that bottom bun, you literally can't deliver the meat, which is your loyalty program, or the top bun, your customer referrals. The coupon is just the crucial first step into a much bigger ecosystem. Okay, so why does this bottom bun foundation actually work? Well, the data shows us four huge drivers. First off, 95% of consumers just flat out don't trust traditional ads anymore. But a high-value introductory coupon, it acts as a risk-free taste test that smashes right through that skepticism. Second, it drives cross-selling velocity. Think about offering a free appetizer, you're almost definitely going to sell full-margin drinks and mains right alongside it. Third, you capture critical database leads because claiming a digital coupon usually requires an email or a phone number. And finally, if your service is top-notch, it triggers the sunk cost fallacy, bumping up a customer's probability of returning by up to 40%. Keeping all that in mind, I want you to think about this number for a second. $20. This brings us to a concept called acquisition cost redirection. Normally, you might happily pay a tech giant like Google or Facebook $20 just to get a single click over to your website. But what if, instead of paying for clicks, you took that exact same $20 and put it directly into your customer's pocket as a discount? By redirecting that money, you practically guarantee a physical store visit or a real-world product trial. You're just taking your marketing budget and handing it directly to the consumer. And that leads to the real aha moment here, the loss leader profitability calculator. When you map it out, the initial cost of that deep discount is entirely absorbed by a minimum spend requirement or those high-margin secondary items the customer adds to their basket. So your total campaign cost effectively drops to zero. Your gross profit from the upsells stays incredibly high, and your net campaign profit is mathematically positive. You aren't losing money at all. You're engineering profitability from the exact second they walk through the door. So how do we guarantee that profit? Let's kick off a rapid-fire masterclass on specific tactics. First up is basket size expansion. This is a structured coupon strategy that requires conditional spending. For example, telling a customer they have to spend $500 in your local currency just to get $100 off. This completely changes the dynamic. You are immediately forcing a higher average order value. You're rewarding the customer, sure, but only under the exact financial conditions that guarantee your profit margin. A perfect real-world example of this is Michael's Craft Stores. Their famous strategy is this consistent 40% off coupon. But here's the catch. It's strictly limited to one single regular-priced item. The psychology here is just brilliant. A customer comes into the store specifically to use that huge discount on their most expensive item. But once they're wandering the aisles, what happens? They start filling their physical baskets with full-priced items. You walk in for a discounted canvas, and suddenly you're walking out with full-priced paints, brushes, and yarn. The margin lost on that single item is completely wiped out by the massive full-priced overall basket. Now, if you want to get a little aggressive, we turn to geo-fenced hijacking. This is where coupons literally become a competitive weapon.
Geofencing means using strictly location-based digital coupons to digitally intercept a direct competitor's foot traffic. You're basically setting up an invisible perimeter around someone else's business and offering a deal so undeniably good that the customer actually turns their car around.
And nobody did this better than Burger King with their legendary Hooper Detour campaign. They offered a signature Whopper for just 1 single cent. But here was the beautifully audacious catch. You could only unlock the digital coupon if your phone's GPS proved you were physically standing within 600 feet of a McDonald's location. It is absolutely ruthless, and it worked flawlessly. This masterstroke of digital hijacking drove 1.5 million app downloads in a matter of days. They stole McDonald's foot traffic and permanently captured all that customer data. Sometimes, though, the math tells you to play the long game. This brings us to lifetime value, or LTV acquisition. With this model, you might not make the money back on that very first visit, and honestly, that's completely okay. A pure loss leader is a calculated bet. You intentionally absorb a massive upfront loss because your data tells you that the recurring revenue over the lifetime of that new user will far exceed the initial cost. It's playing the long game with total mathematical confidence. Uber Eats and HelloFresh are the undisputed kings of this model. We've all seen the offers, right? Uber Eats giving $20 off your first order, or HelloFresh throwing 16 free meals at you across your first few boxes. That's a gigantic upfront loss, but they do it to smash the high barrier to entry of a recurring subscription. HelloFresh spaces that discount out just long enough for you to build a weekly cooking habit. Once you're hooked, you're paying full price for years, making that initial discount look like absolute pocket change. You can also issue your own digital currency through conditional future use coupons. The mechanic here is that you give the customer value today, but it's only actually valid during a specific, highly controlled time window in the future. You're mathematically guaranteeing that the customer is going to make a second trip back to your business exactly when you want them to. Kohl's puts on an absolute masterclass here with Kohl's Cash. When a customer spends $50 today, they don't get a discount on their current basket. Instead, they earn $10 in Kohl's Cash for next week. Kohl's knows human psychology perfectly. Shoppers guard Kohl's Cash like it's high-stakes currency sitting in their wallets. It totally forces that second trip, and Kohl's knows that once you're back in the store to spend that $10 of free money, you'll inevitably fill your basket and spend way more than the coupon is worth. Traditional physical retail uses this exact same math through the cross-sell loss leader. This means offering a deeply discounted main item, designed purely and solely to get you in the door, just so they can sell you high-margin accessories. The main product? It's just the bait. We've all hummed the jingle for Subway's $5 footlong, and while consumers viewed it as an incredible deal, structurally it operated as a massive nationwide coupon. It was an undeniable hook. The secret was that the franchisees didn't make their big money on the $5 sandwich itself. They recovered their margins the moment you got to the register, and they successfully upsold you on highly profitable fountain sodas, chips, and cookies. The sandwich got you in the door, the soda paid the bills. And just in case you think these are all just modern tech-driven fads, let's look back to 1887. Coca-Cola actually distributed 8.5 million handwritten tickets for a free glass of Coke. This was essentially the world's first large-scale lead magnet. They removed the price barrier entirely with a 100% discount, and in doing so turned a completely unknown local tonic into a national and then global craze. They literally used a coupon to secure lifetime product adoption over a century ago. Fast forward back to today, and that same psychology powers habit formation couponing. This is where modern brands drop high-frequency, constantly rotating deals to literally condition your daily routines. They aren't just trying to get a quick sale. They are training you to interact with their digital platform every single day of your life. Take McDonald's, for instance. If you have their app, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They offer rotating daily digital coupons like $1 large fries today or a discounted breakfast sandwich tomorrow. By making these deals app exclusive and changing them up every 24 hours, they condition millions of consumers to open that app daily. It is incredibly powerful for driving impulse, unplanned visits to the drive-thru. 25%. Let that sink in for a second. This is a terrifying number for any business because it represents exactly what happens when a brand completely misunderstands the psychological power of the coupon and decides to just strip it away from their customers. In 2012, the department store JCPenney made a catastrophic error. They decided to eliminate coupons entirely in favor of a strategy called everyday low pricing. The logic sounded simple enough. Just give people fair, low prices without the hassle of clipping coupons. It was an unmitigated disaster. Sales plummeted by that massive 25%. What they proved the hard way is that consumers don't actually just want low prices. They crave the psychological win and the genuine thrill of redeeming a deal. When you take the coupon away, you rob them of that emotional victory. And this brings us to the ultimate paradigm shift of everything we've looked at today. If you remember one thing, make it this. You are not discounting your product, you are purchasing a lead. When you execute a true coupon marketing business model relying on psychology, math, and strategy, the coupon isn't a loss. It is just the entry fee you are willing to pay to acquire a lifetime, high-value brand advocate. So, I want to leave you with a provocative question to look at your own marketing strategy right now. Are you just desperately discounting a product in a race to the bottom, or are you strategically purchasing a highly profitable lead? Because the difference between those two mindsets is the difference between completely killing your margins and securing explosive long-term growth. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I challenge you to completely rethink your next coupon.